All right, week 12, college football breakdown here. Good nighttime battle in the SEC. We got Ole Miss coming off that tough loss to Alabama, traveling to Fayetteville and taking on Arkansas. Ole Miss, a 2.5 point road favorite in this spot. Total has crept up almost 5 points, open at 59, all the way up to 64. I have made a play on this game. Arkansas plus 2.5 is an official 1 unit play for me. We'll start with the Arkansas side of things. KJ Jefferson back at practice this week. If you watched the LSU game last week where he didn't play, see how big of an impact. He might be the most valuable, player to any one team in college football. Shout out to John Neighbors on Twitter for throwing out this stat. With KJ Jefferson in the lineup this year, 35 points per game from Arkansas. Without him, 17. So you see how big of an impact he has. In my opinion, he's one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the country. We all know what he can do with his legs, and that's certainly a big element of why I like him and Arkansas in this matchup. But as passed for these last 2 years combined, he's over 9 yards per attempt. Very good there. 38 touchdowns to just 6 interceptions over these last 2 years. I mean, I see people talking about him as a liability as a thrower. Dead wrong. Couldn't be more wrong, actually. He's very good in that role. He makes this offense go. I think that's really important to note right off the jump. Ole Miss's defense has really started to slip in recent weeks, as they've started to get deeper into conference play, and they don't get to play Georgia Tech anymore. They don't get to play Vanderbilt, gave up over 300 yards on the ground to Auburn, 500 total yards to LSU. Hell, even Texas A&M, the first start for a true freshman quarterback, Connor Weigman, they put up 480 yards on this defense. So I liked them earlier in the year. I clearly got fooled by the lack of strength of schedule there. It's not a very good defense. You can run on them. You can throw on them. Not only with Jefferson back, but Rocket Sanders is over 6 yards per carry on the ground. It's an incredibly balanced Arkansas offense that, quite frankly, I think will have a ton of success in this matchup. On the other side of things, I don't like this spot for Ole Miss at all. You're coming off that gut-wrenching home loss to Alabama. You're out of the SEC title race at the moment. You've also got the Egg Bowl looming on Thursday. I will give Ole Miss credit. The one thing you have to love about their offense is the way they run the football. Quinshon Judkins is a true freshman, over 5.5 yards per carry. Even Jackson Dart, and this wasn't even really the expectation when they brought him in from USC, but he's been a big part of the run game for Ole Miss as well. It's one of the best rushing attacks in the country. And I could see on paper going up against a pretty mediocre Arkansas run defense that I know they just allowed 13 points to LSU, but Josh Williams, who's a walk-on running back, was able to establish the run on that game. So I could see from that standpoint, Ole Miss having some success offensively. At the end of the day, though, with what I think we're going to get from Arkansas here, this game sooner or later is going to fall on the arm of Jackson Dart. If you look at his overall numbers, it looks to be above average. I will say in SEC play, under 7.5 yards per attempt. So he's clearly at a disadvantage in this matchup. For as attackable as I think Arkansas's back seven is, I really like their pass rush. I mean, we saw them last week, really kind of take over that game against LSU. 7 sacks in that game. Once again with Ole Miss, I thought their offensive line was actually pretty good. But as we've seen, as their schedule's gotten tougher, they're not unbeatable. So I do think Arkansas can get some pressure in this game. It's obviously going to make the job of those guys in the secondary that much easier. And the one thing I'll say about Ole Miss, too, not only is Dart not the most established downfield thrower ever, they don't have a ton of difference-making wide receiver talent. That's not a new opinion that I've just suddenly formed. We've known that coming into the year. So there are certain teams that just have that explosiveness on the outside to where I would worry about how Arkansas would fare against them. This is just not one of those matchups, though. At the end of the day, with what I think we're going to get out of Arkansas's offense, I think that can possibly take Ole Miss away from that run-first approach and really put this game on the arm of Jackson Dart. That's the way I see this game unfolding. And if it does unfold that way, I do think Arkansas wins this game outright. If you're going to give me 2.5 points, I'll take it. So that is my official play on this game. I wouldn't hate the over either. It has been bet up 5 points, so we're getting a pretty bad number here. I'm not really going to worry about that side of things. My best look in this game and my official play is on Arkansas plus the 2.5. The holidays are here. Head over to proud90.com and check out their holiday selection. Still over a month till Christmas, so plenty of time to get yourself, a friend, a family member, some unique but very comfortable golf apparel. Weather's obviously getting colder too. Proud 90's got a great selection of hoodies and quarter zips as well. We're all doing a lot of Christmas shopping. Save yourself some money. Use code Fordham at checkout for 15% off your order. The rest of the information will be in the description below.